All right, so today we're going to dive into a story that's, well, it's a really big deal, and it goes way beyond just software developers. We're talking about who gets to control the very building blocks of our digital world. And at the center of it all, one of the most important platforms on the entire internet. So, to kick things off, the author of the piece we're looking at, William Weaver, starts with this quote, and man, does it set the tone. It perfectly captures what this whole story is about. A shift from something open and collaborative, kind of like a republic, into something way more controlled, like an empire. This is really a battle for the soul of open source software, and you can see the battle lines being drawn right now.
All right, first up, a disturbance in the hub. So, every great story has a setting, a place where it all goes down. And for this one, the heart of the conflict is a digital space that pretty much everyone used to see as neutral ground.
So, what is GitHub? Well, you can think of it as the world's biggest library, but for code. It's also a massive collaboration space for software developers. I mean, for years, this has been the place where millions of them work together. It's the digital workshop behind pretty much everything you use, from your favorite app on your phone to the massive software that runs big companies. And its real strength? It was independent. It was like the Switzerland for code, a trusted, neutral platform for everybody. But that independence, well, it turns out it had an expiration date. Back in 2018, Microsoft bought GitHub, and they made a big deal about promising it would stay independent and neutral. But by 2025, that promise will be nothing more than a memory. GitHub's era as that neutral platform is officially coming to an end. And this is where it gets really interesting. GitHub isn't just becoming another part of Microsoft. No, it's being folded directly into Microsoft's artificial intelligence division. And that changes everything. Its entire purpose is shifting away from just serving the developer community to now feeding Microsoft's giant AI machine. So let's talk about the empire's new blueprint. You might be thinking, okay, so it's a corporate reshuffle. Why is this such a big deal? Well, to really get the huge implications here, we're going to look at it through a specific lens. It's a concept called general systems theory, and it helps us see how one change can send ripples through the entire system. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. General systems theory is really just a way of understanding the world by looking at how all the different pieces of a system work together and influence each other. It's about seeing the bigger picture, not just the individual parts. And this right here really shows you the core of the change. The old system, GitHub, was what we'd call an open system. Information just flowed freely between everyone, like a community conversation. But the new system? It's totally different. It's now designed to take all that amazing community energy and funnel it directly into Microsoft's corporate AI goals. So, what this all means is that GitHub has basically been demoted. It went from being this vibrant social community, a place with its own culture, to just a functional part in a bigger machine. Its whole reason for being has changed. It's not about collaboration anymore. It's about providing training data for AI. It's kind of like your favorite neighborhood park getting turned into a factory. Of course, whenever an empire rises, you can bet a rebel alliance isn't far behind. And that's exactly what's happening here. This big corporate move has actually created an opening for a powerful alternative. And that alternative is a company called GitLab. But here's the twist. They're not going it alone. They've formed a strategic alliance with, wait for it, Google. Yeah, another tech giant. This creates a whole new dynamic, a real counterbalance to the Microsoft and GitHub powerhouse. One of the absolute biggest differences here is GitLab's business model. It's called open core. So what does that mean? Basically, the main product, the core of it, is open source and free for anyone to look at and use. Then they sell advanced features on top of that. The key takeaway for you is that this gives users way more control and transparency compared to a system where everything is locked down and proprietary. So let's break it down. You've got two clear factions now. On one side, you've got the empire. That's Microsoft completely owning GitHub, making it a cog in their machine. On the other side, you've got the alliance. That's Google and GitLab in a partnership, built around that open core idea. It's a fundamental choice between a totally integrated corporate system and a more flexible, open one. Okay, so that's the big picture strategy. But what does this actually look like for people in the real world? Let's take a look at the Alliance's toolkit and see how this plays out for, say, a university lab or a researcher. For these folks, this isn't just some philosophical debate.
It's about having control over their own work and having the resources to do it. And that's where the GitLab for Education program comes in. It's a practical way out for anyone in academia who's worried about their research just becoming more data to feed a corporate AI.
And the benefits are, well, they're pretty huge. We're talking about getting the absolute top-tier enterprise-level version of GitLab totally free. On top of that, they get a ton of what are called compute minutes. You can just think of that as free processing power for running all their automated tasks and experiments. The only rule, it's got to be for teaching or non-commercial academic research. That's it.
And that number, 50,000, that is a real game changer. Seriously. What that means is a student or a research lab can run really complex stuff, simulations, experiments, you name it, without having to constantly worry about getting hit with a surprise bill. It just tears down a huge financial wall and makes research so much more open and accessible. All right, this all leads us to the final battle, the battle for open source. So, how does all this theory actually turn into a real plan? For people who really care about independence, this is more than just a debate. It's a call to action. And the author of our source article lays out a really clear 3-step plan for anyone in that position. He's not just talking about the problem, he's showing a way forward. Step 1, get that GitLab for Education license right away. Step 2, create a backup, a safety net by mirroring all your code from GitHub over to GitLab. And step 3, the really crucial one, teach the next generation of students using this more open platform. And all of this really boils down to one final massive question, a question that's at the heart of this whole thing. Who should control the building blocks of our digital world? Should it be the community of people who actually build it? Or should it be the giant corporations that own the platforms? As code gets more and more woven into, well, everything, this becomes one of the most important questions we have to answer. It's a battle for the future, and it's happening right now.